Happy Thursday and welcome to On the Move with Nan and Kam. And we are joined by none other than Sophie King today, who just won. She was our female winner of the Ukrop Monument Avenue 10K presented by Kroger. Sophie, welcome and
Thank you.
congrats.
Thank you so much.
How are your
I
legs feeling?
reposted your picture. Like somebody got some good pictures of you at the finish line, and it looked so cute. I don't know who took those, but
Ooh.
they looked so good.
Really?
The ones that you posted.
It's like, where did you get that?
They looked so good. I was like,
Oh,
wow.
oh, that's sweet. Yeah, no, I just pulled everything from the whatever link that is.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool. I
yeah,
guess it was finisher pics then.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. There you go.
Okay. Sweet. I saw it too because it was a great picture.
Yeah, it's a really good picture.
I would imagine you should get like a double credit or maybe two medals for looking photogenic while finishing
Oh my
and winning a
gosh,
10K
that's so
because that's
sweet.
not what I would be working with.
That's so
Yeah,
sweet.
not what I'm gonna look like when
I
I'm finishing.
definitely felt disgusting, so sweaty. I was also so numb because the wind was so like it was really bad the first half at least. But it was also just unseasonably cold.
It was.
So yeah, I
It
was
was all that rain
definitely
the night before, washed us
yes,
away.
yeah,
Yeah. The 10K is always a hard one sometimes because I think generally you get good weather. I mean, I don't, a lot in general races are just hard with weather now, I feel like. But it's like,
yeah.
you're either that Virginia spring can go one of two ways. I think we prefer the 50-degree to it being really hot.
That's true. That's very
Yeah,
true.
Yeah. Are
very
you
true.
feeling, how are we feeling? I mean, you're a pro, so I'm assuming you've fully recovered, you're fine. 10K is
Yeah,
like nothing.
She's
yeah.
fine.
No, I mean it was my first race in probably like 6 months, I think, because I was injured up until this point. So
Okay.
it hit me harder than I thought. I woke up the next morning, I was like, oh man, I need to call my masseuse. But yeah, it was a lot of fun, but it definitely was a good wake up call to racing. Yeah.
Nice. Well, yeah, tell everybody just a little bit about yourself and then how you got into active living because we were talking about this before and you were a swimmer and then kind of got into running after that. So
Yeah.
tell us a little bit just about your active lifestyle journey and then how you got into running.
Um, So I guess it all started with my parents. They were members of a running club called Tri-City Roadrunners. I don't know if you
Okay.
all heard of it. It's in the South Side. And the year they joined was the start of the club. And so that year, anyone that joined and their eventual children, or if they had children, got free lifetime memberships. So
Uh-huh.
I know. And
That's
so
great.
my parents, like, they dragged us to every race, like, because they were always running those races. So if there's ever a kids race, they would throw us in it. If not, we were on the sidelines cheering. And so running was always like a very homey feeling to us. Like it's
Yeah.
definitely a big part of our family growing up. But we played like every sport under the sun. And it wasn't until I was in late middle school that my mom asked, like, what do you want your main sports to be? And growing up a quad, I wanted something that was my own, and swimming was that for me. It was one that I kind of seemed to have a little bit more initial talent than my siblings, and so I really leaned into it. Um, and yeah, so I took swimming as far as I could. My parents let me do like indoor and outdoor track, but I couldn't train for it because I was swimming twice a day. So I just ran in the meets, and then I played basketball as well. So, but again, no training. That was just like hopping into a game. Um, so swimming was like my basis of any sort of fitness that translated to either basketball or running. Um, but yeah, I was all state in the 800 and the 1,000 in high school. And I knew there was something there, but I never allowed myself to, to figure that out. I was so involved in swimming. I didn't even give running the attention that it probably deserved back then. Just because I mean, I came from nothing from swimming. It wasn't like I was a good swimmer to start. Um, and so I really, really built myself into it. And I think I was like, I'm going to see this through. I
Yeah.
can't just like let it go.
Yeah.
Um, so I just put that thought that maybe I'm a good runner on the back burner until after college once I graduated and obviously retired from swimming. And yeah, I would run every now and then, but like I didn't have a watch or anything, just to kind of keep in shape. And I moved back home after I got my master's, to take care of my dad, who's been ill for the past like 5 years now, I think. And kind of that like release for me was going out on a little bit of a longer run or just trying to stay, sane. And my dad also being the runner that he was back in the day, and him losing his mobility, like every single day he would say, I can't wait to run another marathon again. And it's like, when he says it, people laugh, but he's so serious. Like, and that just motivated me so much. There's people out here that have able bodies and
Yeah.
can move and just, choose not to, and that's fine. But I have an able body, and I wanted to see what I could do with it. And so I just thought, I'd run this one marathon, the Richmond Marathon in 2021, just for him. And that would be it. Because my plan was to go to med school after that. But I got hooked. And it wasn't even the race itself. It was just the training. I say this all the time, but I'd never felt more like myself in my life. So I stuck with it, and training went well, and I ended up getting third at the Richmond Marathon in 2021. And at that point, I think I was 4 minutes off the Olympic trial standard. And I didn't know what that was. Someone had to tell me, like,
Yeah.
So I think ignorance was my biggest ally in all of that.
Right.
Because, if someone had told me that, the times that I, was trying to reach were that lofty, I probably would have counted myself out. And so that's really how it all started, was that marathon right there. And that's what got me a little bit more interested in, like, let me find a coach and figure out how to actually train for this. Yeah. So here I am.
Yeah, I
That's
hear that.
amazing.
I hear that like being a swimmer is super, I mean, you're up super early and you're
Yeah.
training and then you're training
Yeah.
again and that like nobody would even think to be like, oh, maybe let me try another sport. Like you're putting so
Right.
much into one thing.
Absolutely.
You would never be like, I want to try something else. Even if you are as good as you are at it,
Right.
you would never be like, yeah, I'm going to try something else. You're
Right,
like, I don't
right.
have
Yeah.
the time to try anything else.
Exactly. Yeah. And your friend base. I mean, you hardly even have friends at school because, like, you're in and you're out and you're back at practice. You're at the pool before school, too. You know what I mean? So it was like my social outlet, too. And the friends that I built without my siblings. Because, like, growing up in an environment where, like, we basically shared friends until I got to swimming, and like my siblings weren't there anymore and I got to choose my own friends. I thought it was the coolest thing that I had like my own set. And so I
Yeah.
think the social aspect really kept me in it too.
I didn't even think about being a quad, sharing like friends. Like it's impossible to not share friends if there's four of
Yes.
you.
Right.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
all in the same
Especially,
grade. Like you would
yeah.
have to go to some giant school.
Right.
Especially because there's three girls and one you have one brother, right?
Right.
That's definitely like, all right, all the girlfriends are all the girlfriends, and like that's what it is.
Yeah. 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 It's funny looking back because I think growing up, you would get like super possessive if you had a friend, and now we're like, oh, I want you to be like best friends with this friend. You would
Right.
love that,
Yeah.
It's funny to see the transition, but
No, that's
yeah.
definitely, I can definitely see that. I'm also
Yeah.
thinking, like, listen to that. I was like, well, I got to get in a pool maybe. Like,
You,
swimming just
you
makes
never
you're just going to be a
know.
great basketball player. You're just going to be a great runner.
Yeah, you never know.
I'm crap at swimming. So first I would have to get
You love
mildly
a
mobile
pool,
in a
but
pool.
you
I
love
do
being on
love
the
a
side of a
pool.
pool,
Side, yeah.
chilling at
I
the
like
pool.
looking at it. Yeah.
Right.
I was going to say, since we're talking about the quad, maybe you ask the quad question next, Cameron.
Yeah, tell us what it's like being a quad and what it was
Yeah.
like growing up.
We learned this
It's
about you literally last week in the office. We did not know. Or did you know, Cameron? I didn't know.
I know everything about everybody because I run our social media, so
You're
like
crazy.
right.
I'm following everybody, so
Yeah.
I'm always like, oh yeah, even though I don't know people, like know
Process it,
people,
right?
like,
Yeah.
yeah. And so I was telling Nan, I was like, yeah, she's a quad, and she's like, no, and I was like, yeah. I was like, I think
I was like, what do you
I'm pretty
mean?
sure there's
And
four
then
of
she's like,
them.
That's
quadruplet. And I was
funny.
like, oh my God.
That's what
Yeah,
my
so
mom
that's
said too. Yeah.
never met a quad before, so tell us
Same.
how
I've
that's
never
been.
had. I've never
Yeah.
had a set too. Yeah. It's funny, you know, you don't know any different. I guess it's unique that you always had your own friend group to play with, you know, growing up. There was never, so when we were growing up, we didn't live in a neighborhood. We just lived on like 9 acres of land next to a farm. And we had the time of our lives, just like chasing each other around, you know, caring about anybody else or about friends. You had three others, right? So, but yeah, growing up, I think my parents made it a point to make sure we kind of developed our own individualities. And so they made sure that we were on separate classes growing up. And
Great.
yeah, I think that was very important. But yeah, it's funny because like in that, and it wasn't super forced. I definitely think like we also wanted to have our own, right? Our own friends and our own teachers and our own experiences, our own sports too. But yeah, it was unique in that like we were like you were with like your greatest teammates, your biggest supporters, but also they rooted some incredible like competitive fire and me, and they would say the same thing. I like we were always competing against each other, whether it was like school or sports or anything. So I think it was just like it was probably the best experiment for like to find like I don't know how good you could be at something or how far you could take something just because you were constantly competing with someone else. But then you also had them to fall back on because they're your biggest support team too. So
That's a
yeah.
very interesting point. Yeah, I didn't think
Yeah.
about like that competition might be like more innate for you as a feeling than other
Hmm.
people because you were doing it against in a good natured way, but against
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
siblings.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we were
Yeah.
just like I feel like growing up I have twin cousins, but we were
Nice.
like twins were a novelty. Like I remember being in
Yeah.
elementary school and being like, these people are twins. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Like,
And like I was just like quads a real novelty.
yeah, you never see quads. I told Nan, I was telling her the other day, I was like, if you ever had twins, I would be like, yeah. She was like,
Yeah.
twins sounds like a lot. And I was like, no, I don't think so. I
Yeah.
think it's
Not
cool.
Yeah.
anymore. Not after you hear quad. Forget it.
Yeah.
Right.
Twins are old
It's
news.
Right.
fun.
What sports? So you stuck to swimming. What sports
Mhm.
did your siblings stick to?
So Bethany, my sister, was probably the biggest runner growing up. That was like her total main. Natalie was more of a field hockey player. She's the only one that played field hockey and was definitely the best. And then my brother, running and basketball were definitely his mains. Played a little bit of soccer. But yeah, I would definitely say running and basketball for him.
I love that. Love that you all
Yeah.
have like your own separate thing.
Yeah, I mean, my parents hated it because
I mean, yeah, because how
They
the
never
heck?
saw each other
right.
for
How
your
did they
whole.
do
How
that?
to be in four places at one time, right? Yeah. It takes a village. It really does. Yeah, I credit this community so much because there was always a neighbor or someone that was, you know, willing to help carpool or sometimes like even drive me to practice every now and then. So yeah, it definitely takes a village. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess also how I found out you were a quad is when you emailed me about because your sister also had an outstanding 10K
She
and
did.
emailed me about her results. And I was like, which I'd already known about because our timer had like flagged them or texted me
Right.
on Saturday night later and was like, there was a result discrepancy. We're figuring it out. And I was like, then when you emailed me, I was like, how are there two people this beast at running this fast in one family? Like, are you
That's
kidding?
so
And I mentioned
funny.
Cameron, and then Cameron was like, oh, she has three siblings. And I
Yes,
was like,
Yeah.
oh my
that's
God.
more.
Yeah.
Did the other
Yeah.
two run?
So, my other sister
The
Natalie ran
10K, sorry.
too. Yeah, my other sister Natalie ran, and then her husband and Bethany's husband ran as well. My brother has a heart condition that's really limited him. We more recently found out actually during the marathon that he has something that we're kind of like working through.
Okay.
So he's not clear to start running again, but we recently were at Johns Hopkins and we got some really, really good news that he might be able to start working out again, which is exciting.
Great. That is
So he
Perfect.
exciting.
will be there next year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
No,
go.
that's
Family
awesome.
10K.
Woohoo. There'll be nobody to hold our stuff though. That's the hard part.
That's true. Oh
Yeah.
That
no.
is
Yeah, you
true.
need one person.
You need one
Yeah.
person to sit
One
it
is
out
always
over
what
here.
we should do.
I'm at the
Yeah.
finish line. I'll hold on to
Yeah.
it.
Right.
You got I
So
won't forget
since
that
you're
in.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect. We can fit it right in the little announcer tent. I'm set. We'll get you a locker.
That's funny.
Um, so since you're from Richmond, which also is very special with winning the 10K, what's your own history been like with the 10K? Did you grow up doing it or grow up doing the kids run or anything?
Yeah, first Market Mile was my jam. I remember. It's
Nice.
so funny because I'm in the process of moving and I was going through all my trophies over the weekend, kind of like throwing things out and everything. And I came across a bunch of first market medals in like 2006, 2008, like just
Cute.
crazy tiny baby Sophie. I just thought it was wild. Especially like opening them the week after winning Monument.
Oh,
I
so
would have
cute.
never, I would have never, that was not on my bingo card, but yeah, so my parents always ran the 10K and they would put us in the Market Mile until we aged out and we were too old to do that. And then I think it was like maybe my senior year I did the 10K once. I thought it was the longest race ever.
Yeah.
It's the longest I'd ever
It
run.
is.
Yeah. But yeah, so I did it that time and then I think I maybe broke 50 minutes, like 49 or something like that. And then I ran it in COVID year, and I
Okay.
hadn't really started. Like I wasn't really training. I just went out and ran it. But it was funny because there were stagger starting. I mean, I'm telling you guys this as if you guys weren't there, but it was like a
Wasn't
stagger.
there.
Cameron
Moon.
wasn't.
Okay,
Yeah, I
okay,
wasn't
Yeah.
there.
great. There was stagger starting, and man, I don't know if I'm misremembering this, but it was like either unseasonably hot or it was postponed to like the summer. That
Yes,
race,
it was. We had it at like different parks and
right?
things. And it
Yes.
was really, really, really hot. But we did
Yes.
postpone it till the summer, I think. But it was like it was hot, hot, hot.
Yes, I
Yeah.
remember. And it not being on Monument Avenue, like, and then stagger starting, like, I didn't know where to go after the gun went off. Well, I knew a general direction, but then once there was those turns, I completely messed up the course. And then I went out way too hot. I don't know who I thought I was. And I like browned out I don't remember anything after mile 4. I just remember being like, oh, I think I probably like missed a turn. But then, yeah, I remember like having to ask someone at the finish line if I had finished because I didn't even remember finishing.
Yeah. Oh
You're like,
no.
Yeah, so there's that one. Yeah, that was a horrible one. And then,
That's the last
uh,
time I ran the 10K because I could run it since we had multiple days.
right. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I didn't even think about that. Wow.
did you
Yeah,
almost pass out from running too fast?
Yeah, probably, but it was not from running too fast. It was just hot.
Just because it was hot.
Yeah,
it's
I was
funny.
just running. That's why.
Yeah, and then I ran it in 2022. So this is after I got into running 2022 and 2023. I got third in 2022, second in 2023, and then one in 2025. So
It's
yeah,
great.
Love
yeah.
that. I always like to ask. So we had Rob Mazzanti, which is he won the Richmond
Hmm.
Marathon in the fall. We had him on after he won. We always like to ask because this is never a position that we're going to be in. First place and winning. How does it? What are you like? What's going through your mind? Like, did you know? Were you like, oh, I'm about to be the first like female finisher, or were you just like, oh, I'm running?
Um, so it wasn't like my plan to like go out and like I don't know. It was kind of I mean, Nan knows this is kind of a game time decision because I didn't plan on running this race until probably like the week of or the week before.
Mm,
My coach just let me substitute my workout for that Friday for the race on Saturday instead. And so my plan was just to have a really solid effort going in. But of course, like in my mind, I thought it was likely that I could win, but I would never count anyone out, mostly because like I was that girl that was under, not
right.
no one knew who I was 2 years ago. So like there's always that girl could come up, anytime. So but then also knowing Boston is today and then Cherry Blossom was the weekend before, like the girls that I typically race, they're out because they're doing those races.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so I knew I probably wouldn't have someone to race with, which is honestly a bummer because it does really help you. Um, but yeah, I had my pacer Cole Shugart with me, who's awesome. He paced me through 5K, which was really helpful. Um, but yeah, my solid plan was just to have a really good effort and make sure I'm setting myself up well in a racing setting and getting myself ready for my real season coming up. Yeah.
Do you run with music with headphones or no?
If I'm on the treadmill, yes. But if I'm
Yeah,
outside,
that's
yeah.
diabolical
Oh, that's
behavior to
absolute.
run no headphones on the
Just
treadmill.
nothing on the treadmill, just hearing yourself
You're
shake the
punishing
freaking.
yourself.
I'm glad to hear that you
Yeah,
listen to music
Yeah,
on the treadmill.
yeah, I
but
got
outside,
to.
no, you don't run with any headphones
Like
outside
when you're
ever?
racing.
No, no, and that's illegal in the pro field to race with headphones, so that's definitely no. But yeah, like if I'm on an easy run or anything, I used to, but then I noticed I really enjoy trying like I feel like I'm more engaged with my body and in tune with how I'm feeling if I'm not constantly listening to music.
Yeah.
It's just helpful, and I think I process my thoughts really well when I'm running, and I need that time. Um, so yeah, no, and I kind of love not the no advent thing. You guys got to try it.
Yeah.
That's what
No,
Rob said the
I
same
go back and
thing.
forth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
good, good.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
was
Rob
like
said
he
the
didn't
same thing.
train with like any he's like, I don't train with any music. I don't run with any music. And I'm like,
Wait, what about on the
uh,
treadmill though?
he doesn't I think he only ran outside. Or like, well, I guess when he was
It's
training,
crazy.
because he was just telling us about like the long nights. I'm sure
Uh-huh.
he does run on the treadmill.
Yeah.
But he was just like, no, no music. He
Wow.
said his headphones died mid run one time. And then after that he was just like, I didn't use them anymore. Right. Maybe Nan. Maybe we need to try it out.
Yeah. Sometimes I like to switch it up because I do think, and this is ridiculous because I'm not going a far distance ever. I do think it's like when I'm listening to something, sometimes I know like a song is typically 3 to 5 minutes long. So I've
Oh,
probably gone half a mile or like something like that in my mind. And then
that's a
also
good
sometimes
one.
when I forget them, I'm like, we just need to learn how to be at peace.
Right.
Like is that like I'm like maybe I'm like need to just stop overstimulating myself
Right.
all the
Tells
time.
myself to grow up. Grow
Yeah.
up. You don't need
And I'm always
headphones.
like,
Right?
you can enjoy your own thoughts in
I know
nature.
you
It's
can
okay,
just your
girl.
own thoughts for like.
Right. Yes. Sometimes like I like that. I
Funny.
like it for an outdoor walk because then it's like,
Mhm.
oh, the birds are like,
Yeah.
yeah. And I don't know. I'm just like a paranoid person. So even if I do have headphones, I'm like, I have one off and I'm like making sure nobody's sneaking up behind me.
Yes.
Important.
So it is very
Yes.
important.
It is. Yeah.
Do you have any pre-race superstitions or rituals that you get into?
Specifically pre-race just because I kind of put my workouts on a pedestal, so I try to just do the same thing that I would do going into a workout. Um, so those rituals, I always do mobility the day before, like hurdle mobility, and then I'll always eat beef. That's another thing, and that's more kind of like a new find.
Okay.
Okay.
I've had trouble with like maintaining my iron stores, and eating beef's been really helpful. For some reason, the day before a hard effort has seemed to be really good for me.
In what
Protein.
form? I'm interested to know.
Yeah, honestly, it depends. Like, sometimes it's just steak, like from Trader Joe's, the smaller one, so I can get it down, and then sometimes I'll do like egg roll in a bowl with like just
I
ground
love
beef in
that.
it. Dude, so yummy. It's
So
so quick.
good.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Um, hmm. Yeah, honestly, it's either of those two forms of cow.
Sounds good.
Good question, Cam.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, for some reason, like when she said it, I was like, oh, ground beef. And then I was like, she wanted me steak. So I had to ask.
Yeah,
Don't know.
it's
Yeah.
important.
Yeah. What else do I do? Talk to
Do
my
you
coach.
do you eat before you like in the morning? Before you run?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Okay.
I always have oatmeal, and that's pretty standard. It's funny, my sister like 2 days ago was like, "Don't you get so tired of oatmeal?" And honestly, I don't, just because I add like different toppings and stuff. But it is always oatmeal and coffee. I take like salt in the morning too, like I forgot what it's called. It's called NBS Nutrition, which is just like a boatload of salt, and I just mix it in water, just because I know I'm gonna be sweating a lot and
Yeah.
definitely want to make sure my electrolytes are good. What else do? Try and get a good night's sleep, but that never happens. I swear, I can't fall asleep the night before a race.
Is it because
No.
you're excited, or is it just normal you can't really fall asleep?
No, I think it's just like excitement. And I'll just say excitement because like I want to trick myself into saying it's definitely not
I'm
nerves.
so excited.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's definitely it. Usually for workouts, that's not a problem for me. I mean, falling asleep, but the night before races for sure is definitely a problem. Um,
Thinking
hmm.
about with the falling asleep thing, or like, I feel like that's anybody, even if you're not like
Yeah. Oh
competitive or you're
yeah.
going to win. If you're running a big race like a marathon, I'm always like, you're not sleeping well because you're tossing and turning
For
thinking about it.
sure.
And with Boston today, one of our friends is running it. And like, this is the same with a ton of huge marathons, obviously. But we were texting her husband asking about her start time, and she didn't start until 11. And I was like, is that
That's so
fun to
much
keep her
time to.
sleeping or not?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't think that is fun because, yes, you're like, I just want to get this over with.
Yeah.
Right.
Could you
Yeah.
imagine if it
I
was
need
hot out? Oh my gosh.
No.
I
Yeah,
No.
my
need less
husband
time
ran
to
in New
think.
York the year that it was really hot and people had to start at 11 then.
Right.
And that was like seeing them later in the day. I was like, this is terrible.
Yeah.
So yeah, would
Even
not
being a
agree.
spectator.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm like, if I'm not sleeping, I want to get it done early.
Right. Yeah,
Right.
for sure. And
11's crazy.
I like your point
Yeah, I
too,
love it.
Kim, about like sitting in your thoughts for like God knows how long until you start. Like that's true.
Hurry us up, please. Yeah,
Yes.
I
Yeah.
need to stop thinking about this and get it
Yeah.
done.
Yeah. Already flopped around like a fish all night long. I don't need to then like
Now I
have
gotta
more
wake
time
up
to
and
marinate.
can't breathe
Yeah.
because I'm so nervous. Yeah, no. I'd be like, hurry it up.
Yeah.
So when it comes, so obviously you did the marathon and you did the 10K. Courses are very different. A lot of people who aren't in the running space or like aren't out on the course to see don't really understand the difference in, I guess, like the atmosphere and like the crowds and
Hmm.
what it really looks like to be on each course. What would you say is like your favorite part of the 10K and like, I guess not the course specifically, but like going on at the race that day?
Like in comparison to the marathon or just in
Just
general?
in general.
Um, gosh, honestly, I feel like my favorite part is always the part where I see my family. So that kind of changes. It was at the finish this time, so that was my favorite part. But I do like the roundabout, like at 5K. I
Yeah.
think it's really cool because then all of a sudden you get to see everyone behind you. And like just especially this past race, like hearing the people cheering for me that were also running, just like it even brings me to tears now because I know that feeling of really being, in the pain cave and then just wasting the time that you could be getting air to like scream my name is just like the sweetest thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that might have been one of my favorite parts. And then hearing a voice and knowing it was my sister, Bethany, who was behind me, was like definitely like my favorite part of the race. So
That's
yeah.
super sweet. I feel like that's
Mhm.
also a good thing about having like such a big family is that
Yes.
like your family is super important to you. So all
Yeah.
you like you don't really need much on race day. If you see your family,
Right.
then it's like that's all my
Oh yeah.
fam.
We got bag check. We got support crew on the
That's right.
sidelines and in the race.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
all I needed.
How
Yeah.
many minutes apart did you and Bethany finish roughly?
And Bethany was 38, so
Okay.
5 minutes.
That's
That's
crazy. That's so
still
cool.
crazy.
Brother-in-law, or my brother-in-law, her husband was 34 something, so he wasn't too far behind me. He used to
And
be
he's
back.
not even born into the fam.
Oh,
It's
I
Yeah.
know.
so fast.
And then,
Gosh.
yeah, Natalie was 46, and I'm so proud of that girl. She ran amazing, which was a PR for her. And then
Yeah,
her,
that's
That's
so fast.
awesome.
yeah, and her husband came in right, I think it was right behind her, or either right before her, 46 or 45, and he was not a runner at all. So, like, just
You guys need to
incredible.
do like a family 5K or like a family 10K.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It was so funny. My brother-in-law was like pulling up different stats and he was saying like each of us were the first like of our first name. So like I was the first Sophie, Bethany was the first Bethany, Brandon
Yeah,
was the first
100%.
Brandon, Natalie was the first Natalie, and then Matt, the one who was like pulling up the stats was like poor guy was like the ninth Matthew.
I
We're
was
like,
about to say
Oh,
there's a bunch of Matts. It's
I
fine.
know, he's like, probably the most popular name in the world, like you're good.
Sucks to be that. I think Nam would have probably been
Yeah,
the
I
first
might have been
yeah.
man.
the only man. Yeah, and I mean, other Nans, it's probably a nickname, and mine's not, so they can
Yeah.
get kicked out of
Number
the
Yeah.
one.
Out the group.
one.
It's funny.
Number
Cam, you
one.
said earlier, like, I'll never know what it is to be like going in first or whatever.
Never.
Hey, if you run a 10K, look at how many Camerons came in before you.
You're
That's
right.
right.
I'll look it
Yeah.
up.
Yeah,
Spelled
and yours is
exactly like
spelled
my name.
Yes.
Yeah.
weird
Yeah.
way.
And then if first name, if there is someone, make sure you do last name too.
Yeah. We are not the same. You're right. I'll be looking. I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah.
See whose name's spelled like.
Yeah.
You've said that this was kind of the kickoff for the start of like your real race season, your real training. What are some what do we got in store for the next year? What are some bucket list events for you too?
Yeah. So next, like most immediate race, I'm doing pen relays. This weekend, I'm running the 5,000 on the track, and then the weekend after that, I'm racing in LA the 10,000 on the track. I'll have like a good stint. I think all of May. I might do a race at the end of May in LA again, but so I'll have a good little training cycle only then. But then yeah, going into the summer is pretty much going to be all on the track, which I'm really excited about because I've never had like a true track season as a pro. So I'm excited about that. Bucket listing is definitely racing in Eugene for the U.S. National Championships on the track. Um, Either the 5K or the 10K or both. But yeah. So that's bucket list for the year, I would say. But just bucket list races in
Yeah,
general,
forever. What do
probably
we got?
probably biased because today is Boston Marathon Monday, but I can't wait to do that one day. I like look at all the finishers, and it's always, I don't want to say always because Jess McCain was just like the first female or the first American female to cross, and she I don't think had run Boston before. But people that are very consistently good at Boston or in the top, American group are people that have run it a ton of times. And so I'm excited to kind of just start checking that one off the box and learning a little bit more of the course when I do get back into marathoning. And then, of course, New York is definitely on that list too. So
Yeah.
there's no two. Yeah.
What's your favorite distance?
It's so funny that it's hard, man, because I like started with a marathon and I don't know. Now I'm kind of on the track, so I'm like, I don't know. I don't have enough experience to tell you. I would have said the marathon like 6 months ago, but now I'm like,
Right.
man, I really like the track. So, something in me it says that I'm gonna be like a 10,000 meter person on the track. But we'll see. I might surprise myself. But yeah, so far, right now, I'll tell you the 5K on the track is my favorite because that's what I'm racing next. So,
Okay. We can keep it.
yeah.
Well, this is maybe the hardest part of the interview now. We're going to do your this or that,
Okay.
which may or may not be running related at all. They can
Okay.
be anything. So it can be, yeah. Do you want to go first? Do you have any, Cameron, that
By
you
the time
thought
me
of?
and Nan end up having the same question,
We do.
so I'm glad. And I feel like I've taken yours the last couple times, so I'll let you go first, Nan.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So ideal racing weather for you. Are we going cold and sunny? And by cold, I mean like, let's say like 40 to 50, similar to 10K day, like 40 to 50 sunny. Or are we going like a little bit warmer, maybe more in that like 60-degree range and not sunny?
Ooh, that is hard, man. I'm gonna go 60 and not sunny.
Okay.
Yeah,
You like it a touch warmer.
I do.
Okay. I do too. Yeah.
Yeah, just a little bit.
I'm
Yeah.
a
I
baby
feel,
about that cold.
I know, me too. And then
Yeah.
I just feel like my circulation is like not the best. Like I'm always numb somewhere. Yeah.
Is that what your little gloves are for? For when you run? For your fingers?
I like debated wearing two pairs. I know. I'm like it's like way past like I should have those stored because it's like way past winter, but here I am. So
I mean,
yeah.
your fingers might get numb or tingly.
They were
You got some
chilly.
serious work to do, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
you wear what you need to wear.
That's
Thank
right.
you, friend.
My this or that, we actually didn't have the same one. My this or
Okay.
that is, do you like the feeling that you get now when you run, or did you prefer the one that you got when you were swimming and like in your prime swimming?
Oh no, running for sure. Running, yeah.
Running.
Yeah.
I don't know what I feel like, I don't know. Cause you did, like you said, you did swimming throughout college, right?
Right, yeah. But it's so funny. I was literally running from it my whole life, but yeah, there's no feeling that touches what I feel like when I run.
Love
Like
that.
even when I was in my prime in swimming, like there's nothing that touched what I feel now.
What is
Yeah.
this is probably a hard question. What is
Yeah.
like the difference? Is it more because you're like by yourself or more like in solitude with like your thoughts and pushing yourself for like a longer time?
I mean, I feel it too, like when I'm with people too.
Mhm.
It's the best way I can. It's so funny because I remember like when I first started running, I was like, I don't know how to describe this feeling, but I know it's different and I can't put words to it. And
Yeah.
I kept like thinking like it feels like honest, it feels right, it feels correct, like, but I just can't figure out, none of those words kind of truly touch it. And then there was some movement about like living in your truth that like started like coming about and mostly about, gender stuff. But I maybe like a year after that, someone like brought that up and I remember thinking, oh my gosh, that's it. Like I feel like I'm living my truth right now. Like I feel like I'm truly Sophie, like while I'm running, whether anyone's there or not. Um, the other best way I can describe it is I just feel closer to God. I
Yeah.
just feel like I hear him best and hear myself best. My best version of myself best, so again, back to the no headphones thing. That's a lot of the reason
That's what
why.
I was thinking.
Yeah.
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 Even hearing that though, I can honest is like a great way to describe
Hmm.
that. Just like what you're
Yeah.
saying, just like there's no
Yeah.
front that you're putting up in any
Right.
way because
Right.
it's literally just fully yourself that's out there.
Right.
Yeah.
And especially when you're running really hard too, like
Yeah.
it's a very vulnerable position to be in, right? And I think you could like really do see your true colors for good and for bad, right? Sometimes like you'll get negative in your head and be like, I don't really want this that bad, right?
Yeah.
When things get hard, or you learn to respect yourself even more and something like, no, I trained my ass off for this. I'm not going to let it slip through because I'm not feeling good right now. So yeah, yeah.
It's making me want to go find whatever I'm supposed to be good at.
Right
Like
here,
whatever,
Cam.
whatever this, maybe it's us podcasting,
Yes.
living our truth on a
We're gonna live our
podcast.
truth on here.
Yeah.
Okay, your last one. I mean, you seem very motivated, like it is hard to slow you down. So if there is a free day where you don't have to do anything, there's no workout, there's none of that, are you into like full shutdown mode, relaxation, couch potato, all that, or like spa day, something like that? Or are you packing your day with like fun plans that you maybe normally wouldn't get to do?
Oh, I would be packing my day with fun plans, but I probably shouldn't be. But yeah, definitely the fun plan one. Yeah, because I feel like I do miss out on a lot, just because of the training and having a full-time job and all the other things of life. But yeah, so probably that.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
I feel like if you're hard to slow down anyway in your normal activities in life, you're going to be
it's a
hard to
good
slow
point.
down in your fun
Yeah.
life too.
What about you
Yeah.
guys? What do y'all do?
Lounge,
Mm.
lay.
Yeah,
I'm a mixture.
cortisol.
I'm a hybrid, half lounger,
Yeah.
half. I don't mind. I love a good lounge, but I also love to have. I get too stir crazy if I lounge
Yes.
too hard.
Yeah.
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 I'm a very like a random, like tonight I'm going to a line dancing class and
Ooh.
then like we'll go roller skating and then we'll go like I just do like
You're always
random.
trying a new
That's
activity.
I'm always,
awesome.
yeah, I love it. I'm trying to find my one thing that I'm good at.
Roller
It
There
might
you
skating.
be
go.
roller skating. We never know. So
Yeah.
I'm on the search. That's what it is.
There you go.
That's
I
what it
also feel
is.
like this is probably everybody, but I'm a seasonal lounger. I feel guilty if I'm lounging and it's nice outside.
Oh yeah.
That's
So
true.
like, yeah, in December, yeah, catch me on the couch. But
Right.
if it's nice out, I'm like, well, I at least have to be sort of lounging outside.
Yeah.
Right. I at least have to lounge by the
Right.
pool.
While I'm tanning.
In the
Yeah.
backyard, all that.
Right.
Yeah, I got to be doing something. Richmond has a lot to offer, so I'm like,
It does.
got to go take advantage of it.
Yes, for sure.
Did you grow? I have one last question. Did you grow up? You said South Side. Were you in like Chesterfield area?
Yeah. So I went to Patoka High School. So
That's what I figured. I was thinking. I was like, 'cause I went to Bird, so I'm from like Chester,
yeah,
and
okay.
I was like, okay, Chesterfield. And then you say you lived on a lot of land. I said she went to Patoka. I know she did.
That's so funny because I'm close to Bird. Like our district was, it's funny. I think it was literally just like half of the kids, actually, people that were going to Bird like 5 years before me, they were coming from my neighborhood too. So I don't
Oh,
know how they redistricted that, but I would say Bird is probably like equidistant to to my house as Matoka is. So yeah.
love a little South Side. Love when I find somebody
Yeah.
that's from over there.
I know, it's
Okay,
so
that's us.
people will be like, "Are you like south of the river or like north of the river?" And like,
And beforehand, I was like, I don't know what that means.
I know,
Sorry.
what is north of the river? I know. Like, no, it's so funny because I see when people ask that, it's like, it's kind of like a status thing, and I would always be like, "Oh, I'm like very south of the river," and not
I'm
realizing
from
that just means
Chester.
I'm literally like poor.
I'm from Chester. Oh, yeah, exactly. It's fine. Love our little area. Go us. Okay.
Well, thank you so much for talking to us today. This is great. Knew it would be fun, but this was awesome. So we
That
really
was fun.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
And we can't wait to like hopefully have you on again when you just keep winning more and more races.
Oh, you guys are
Yeah.
sweet. I can't wait. I can't wait.
We're gonna be cheering you on. Of
I
course.
know it. Best
Can't
support
wait to see
team.
all the races on your calendar this year. But yeah,
Yeah.
can't wait to see you at a finish line soon. But thanks everybody.
Ooh.
Bye.
See you next time.